Okay, so we ended up on this part. I'm just emphasizing that whenever we put the stress, okay, or whenever we detect the stress, it is more loudly and forcefully compared to the other syllables on that particular word. Ayun nga, it's monotonous. When I say monotonous, it's all the same. Okay? Pare-pareho yung pagkaka-pronounce mo on the other syllables on that particular word. But when there is the stress, okay, you put force to it. Okay? That's how you do it. And then, ayan, this is how you write the stress mark. Okay, pag ganun siya. Okay, it's a bit slanting siya. And we put it above the vowels on that particular word. Okay. Next. Okay, remember the stress mark is always on the vowel. Okay, we're done with that. So, ito dapat nasa taas to mismo klasa, exactly on top of letter E. But I cannot actually write it through Microsoft PowerPoint, so I just put it this way. Emphasis, ecology, okay, ecology is how you pronounce it. Adolescence, okay, so I hope you learned from that one. Next, okay, let's try to review the following words that are stressed on their first syllable. Okay, average, average, charitable, charitable, emphasis, okay, endlessly, forcefully, differences, hurriedly, multiplication, references, okay, stress on the second syllable, accompanied, collapsible, creation, entrusted, immediately, important, instruction, responsibility, subtraction. Okay. Do you see the difference, class, on how you pronounce it? Okay. Whenever there is the stress,
Sir,
okay,
mas loud siya.
it is pronounced longer. Pansin nyo, longer siya na pronounce, heavier compared to the other parts. Okay. On third syllables, international, constitutional, okay, electronic, educational, independent, democratic, electricity, satisfactory, application. Okay? For fourth syllable words, okay, administration, contemporary, coordination, decomposition, impossibility, incorporation. And then we have, wait, misunderstand, pronunciation. Pronunciation. That's how you pronounce pronunciation, class. Pronunciation. Some teachers would pronounce it pronunciation, but there's no O. So it's pronunciation. Okay? Same as to with poem. Okay? Poem. Before they pronounce it as poem. Okay? But it's poem. Poem. Okay? You know, language is arbitrary. When I say language is arbitrary, it keeps on changing. Okay? Socialization. Okay. Okay. So, do you have questions about this topic, class? Okay. Sige, magtatanong na lang ako if you don't have questions. Uh, sino kayong pwedeng matawag? Ang dami naka-off ang camera. Gabriel, Angeli Dumalanta. I want you to turn on your camera because I'm going to ask you a question. Where is Gabriel, Angeli?
Sir, anong question?
Okay, sige. Ayan, go, go, go si Gabriel, Angeli. My question is, what do you call this? Whenever we try to detect the stress on a particular word, how should we do it? What's the first step in detecting the stress on that particular word? What's the first step that you have to do?
Sir, hanapin mo yung parang... Hindi ko alam i-explain. Forgot how to
Come on, you can do
explain.
it. And use
Yung...
English. Use English, please.
Sir, I
Come
forgot
on.
how to explain it. I know how, pero ano, can I chat it?
No, just tell it to me. You know, this is the only way we can practice English on English time. I know some of your on some of your classes you don't speak English already. So yeah, come on.
Sir, hindi ko alam sa English, sir.
How is that even possible? I know you can do it. Come on. When you go to high school, teachers will really be strict. Like, uh, if you see me on high school next year, I will really be strict. You know, I have English speaking policy when I was in high school.
Anong
I
gagawin?
was a high school teacher. I'm just asking her on how to detect the stress part of that particular word. How do we detect? Like, what are the steps that I told you? Okay, come on, just explain it in Tagalog para mabilis na nga rin tayo. Come on.
Sir, yung parang ano, yung naiibang pag, kasi sir, di ba, meron yung pare-parehas na pag-pronounce mo sa syllables. Yung
Okay.
ibang, parang yung mas malakas mo na sasabihin siya. Ganun yung sa opinion ko, hindi ko alam paano sabihin.
Okay, so she told us, okay, let me just tell it in English. She told us that the way on how we can detect the stress on a particular word is to basically listen to ourselves. Diba? That's the first thing. Listen to ourselves whenever we pronounce that word. And then, whenever you hear the particular syllable that is stronger, that is more forceful than the other syllables on that word, well, that's the syllable that has the stress. Okay. And you know what, class? It is also nice for you to chop first the word. Okay. Like, count first how many syllables are there in a word so that you will not have a mistake whenever you try to look for the stress on that syllable. Okay. Now let's proceed with the next topic. Okay, which is using words that show time relationships. Okay, are you familiar with this words, class? Words that show time relationships. Okay, you often see this on paragraphs like procedures. For example, first, second, third,
Yes, sure. Yung
diba?
order.
Next, then, yes. Those are words that show time relationships. Okay, we also see them in stories, right? For example, once upon a time, okay, suddenly, okay, those words, suddenly, the princess ran away from the castle. Afterwards, okay, those words are examples of words that show time relationships. Okay, your book class, tawag dito, just simply gave this very, very simple information about this one. But the thing is that, may tawag tayo sa mga ganitong klase ng words. They are called cohesive devices. Okay? Ayan, cohesive devices, transition markers, or signals. Yun ang tawag sa kanila. So, let me just read this one. Expressing time is very important in writing, especially in telling a story from the beginning up to the end. Okay? Or in telling the steps of a process. These words are called transition markers or signals or cohesive devices. Okay? Please remember this one. Okay, bakit siya transition markers or signals? From the term itself, transition. Okay, once you have read it, you immediately know that there is a change, okay? Magkakaroon ng pagbabago dun sa sinasabi mo on your paragraph. For example, first, saute the garlic, onion, and then, okay, so you immediately know that it's another step of that particular procedure. Kaya siya transition markers. Para siyang ano, class, kumbaga sa daan, it's like, what do you call this? These are like signals, okay? Signals sa daan na, for example, you immediately know na ending na pala nung story o kaya nasa gitna ka na pala, things like that. And cohesive devices din na tawag sa kanila. Why do we call it as cohesive devices? Let me discuss first.
Sa waiting room.
Come again?
Yung sa waiting room daw, sir. Admit daw.
Walang tao sa waiting room. Ayan, si Polo.
Sabi niya, follow, sir.
Okay na, ito na. Kaka-notify lang sa akin. Okay, ayan. So anyway, why do we call it as cohesive devices? Ano bang meaning kasi ng cohesion? Okay. Wait lang. Okay, so ayan muna, definition ng transition signals. These are words or phrases which signal relationships between ideas. Yes. So, di ba meron tayong mga transition signals na ika-counter strike niya or tawag dito? What do you call this? However, for example, the word however, okay, that is an example of transitional signal, right? Whenever you use however, it means that you are contradicting the first statement that you have just told. Okay? So, may mga ganon. Iba't ibang klase ng transition signals. And then, they serve as a glue that holds a piece of writing together. Yes. Okay? Without transition signals class, you know what? What will happen to that particular text? Hindi siya buo. Alam niyo yun, whenever I read essays without cohesive devices or transition signals, hindi mo mapagbuo-buo yung idea o konsepto nung nagsulat. Okay, that's why transition signals are really important. Okay, yan ang gusto ko sabihin sa inyo. Okay? So ito, class, these are two terms actually, advanced lesson to. What does cohesion and coherence mean? I just inserted this particular topic because you need to know this one. Okay. Pag sinabi natin cohesion, for example, wow, Marcella's work has cohesion. Okay, so what does it mean? Cohesion means tying our words, phrases, sentences, and paragraphs together. Okay, ibig sabihin, structurally speaking, pag sinabi natin structurally speaking, the sentences are connected with each other. Okay? Ganon, may cohesion yung isang paper kapag yung mga sentences ay all together. Okay? They are forming into one piece. Okay? Di ba yun nga kasi ang purpose ng cohesive devices? They serve as a glue, para silang glue. How about coherence? Ito naman, ideas naman ang all together. Coherence is when all the ideas are all together. So basically, class, whenever you write something, whenever you write a paragraph, or whenever you write an essay, it should have these two things. May cohesion at may coherence. Okay? Hindi pwedeng connected lang yung sentences mo all together, but the thing is that your ideas is jumbled. Okay? Kalat-kalat ang ideas mo. Yan ang gusto kong sabihin. Okay? So, ayan, sana nagigets yung pino-point out ni teacher. Okay. So, pag nagbigay ako ng comment, wow, like your essay has coherence and cohesion, it means that it is a nice essay. Okay. If you want to take a screenshot of this one, you may want to, but teacher is going to upload it also, of course. Okay. So next, okay, so let's proceed with the transition signals or cohesive devices that is on your book. We have after, afterwards, already, as soon as, at last, at the same time, before, during, earlier, finally, first, okay, hindi lang first ang kasali, second, third, kasali rin yung mga yon. Immediately, in the beginning, okay, last, lastly, later, okay, meanwhile, next, now, recently, since, then, whenever, while, okay. So, these are all, what do we call this again, class? Ano po itong di-discuss ni teacher? Anyone? What do we call these words? Francis, what do we call these words again? May sinasabi si Francis.
The words that show time relationship.
Oo, pero anong tawag natin sa kanila? May binanggit si teacher kanina. Okay, ayan, sige, si Josiah. Josiah is raising his hand. What do we call this, Josiah?
Cohesive devices.
Okay, yes, cohesive devices. Ano ang function ng cohesive devices? What do they do in a particular paragraph? Josiah ulit, sige. What do they do?
Here they connect the sentences.
Okay, yes, they connect the sentences. Very good. Aside from that, they also make sure that the ideas are all together. Okay? Through this, ang tawag dito? you can make sure that your essay is one, okay, as one, things like that. Di ba kasi meron yung mga nagsusulat na essay na hindi mo mawari yung, what they call this, their ideas are diverse kung saan-saan pumupunta. Like, you should just stick on one topic whenever you write an essay, okay? So we have here an example. This one came from your book, but I also have another example. Okay. So this particular paragraph has different cohesive devices. Okay, so let's try to take a look. Okay. Christoph and Joshua learned a lot from the second day of story writing workshop that they attended. First, okay, so that's the first cohesive devices that we saw. First, they learned pre-writing techniques such as, okay, kasali rin tong such as class such as brainstorming, clustering, free writing, and outlining. Okay, so on this part, we saw two transition signals or cohesive devices. First, and then, such as. Okay, imagine kung wala ito. Sige, let's try to read without the cohesive devices. Christoph and Joshua learned a lot from the second day of the story writing workshop that they attended. They learned, okay, di ba? They learned pre-writing techniques, brainstorming, clustering, free writing, and outlining. So, hindi siya glued together. Okay? They don't stick together without the cohesive devices. So, without using this first, okay, the term first, hindi mo alam kung yun lang ba yung natutunan nila or may kasunod pa. Okay, di ba yun? And then for this one, such as, if you use such as, you are referring that you are giving examples of pre-writing techniques that they have learned. Di ba? Oo, parang for example, ganun din ang ibig sabihin ng such as. Such as, like, pwede mo rin gamitin. Pre-writing techniques like brainstorming, clustering, free writing, and outlining. Okay, so that's the importance of cohesive devices or transition signals. Okay. Next, the next part of the paragraph. Okay. Next, okay, so you know that this is another event that happened, okay, from that particular seminar that we went to.
Sure, meron yung mga next, then finally. Sure, yun yung mga ano doon.
Yes, yun nga yun. Ito yung pinag-aaralan natin ngayon. These are called transition signals or cohesive devices. Okay, next, they reviewed basic grammar rules. Then, they learned a lot of idiomatic expressions and used each one appropriately. Finally, okay, once you have read the word finally, you immediately know that that is the last thing that they have learned. Okay, yun na yung last part ng essay. Finally, they studied different perspectives used by professional writers. Christoph and Joshua were excited for the third day of the workshop. Okay. So, okay, question. What will happen to this paragraph if it doesn't have any cohesive devices in it? Okay, what do you think will happen? Okay, Josiah again. How about the others? Okay, parang dadalawa lang ang estudyante ko ngayon. How about the others, class? What do you think will happen to this paragraph if it doesn't have any cohesive devices in it? Anyone? Okay, how about Jasman? Jasman used to be so active. What happened to Jasman? Okay, Jasman, do you want to try? Or should I call somebody?
You will get confused.
Okay, yes, you will get confused because, aside from that,
Sure, magja-jumble-jumble yung information.
okay.
Sure, magkakaroon ng misunderstanding.
Magkakalat lahat.
Sure, parang di mo alam ano.
Okay. Yes, all of the things that you're saying are actually right. Okay, there will be misunderstanding. The information are jumbled. Okay. And then you don't have a clear grasp on how the picture, okay, hindi mo ma-picture. You cannot actually picture that particular essay. Okay. And then, okay, ayan, nag-lower na sila ng hand. Yes, so basically there will be misunderstanding without the cohesive devices. And they are not glued together, okay, if they don't have cohesive devices. They are not as one, okay? And Lastly, it's not an effective writing if it doesn't have cohesive devices. That's what I would want to inculcate to you. It's not effective. Okay. Next. Okay, so I have here another example, okay, of a text that has cohesive devices. Okay, it's actually a story. Okay, di ba doon naman natin nakikita ang cohesive devices? So stories or on procedures. Okay, example, Patty, the pirate, has always has always dreamt of finding gold. Yesterday, she found a treasure map. Okay, so yesterday is an example of cohesive devices. After reading the map, she jumped in her ship and set sail for the land marked with a big X. Later that day, when she reached the land, she began to dig. Okay, so, di ba, nagets mo agad kung ano yung ginawa niya kasunod, things like that. And where exactly and when exactly is that? Specifically on this part. Later that day, okay, so you immediately know that Patty did it on a different time, di ba? Imagine kung wala tong later that day. Okay. So, hindi mo alam kung kailan niya na-reach yung land kapag wala yung later that day. Di ba? Okay. Wait, let me just admit the others. Meron mga di-disconnect. Okay, next. What happened after finding that particular treasure map? Suddenly, okay, which means that the particular incident happened in a spoof. Okay, mabilis na nangyari. Suddenly, her shovel hit something hard. It was a large wooden chest. When she opened the lid, it was filled with sand. In the end, okay, Patty was disappointed that she didn't find gold, but happy since she had an adventure. Okay, so all of the italicized words class are the cohesive devices in this particular story. Okay? Do you have questions about this one? Or do I still need to explain it further? Okay. Now let's proceed with procedures. How do we use cohesive devices in procedures naman? For example, how to make crispy fried chicken spicy version. Okay, so let's take a look. I want sino kaya ang pwedeng magbasa? Okay, okay, Gian Alzate. I want Gian Alzate to read this entire paragraph and then tell me the cohesive devices that you have found on this particular paragraph.
Pinutin mo yung character, right click, cut.
Wala. Paste lang.
Wala?
Hello.
Oh.
I can hear you from the background. Okay, Gian? Gian? Okay. Please read this particular paragraph and then tell me where are the cohesive devices on this one. Okay. You read it first.
Paano yung title?
It's up to you whether you would want to read the title also. Come on.
How to make crispy fried chicken. Spicy version. Let's begin by bringing
I think this is bringing. Okay, sorry,
our
it's a
chicken
typo.
bringing our chicken for the inside to become tasty and juicy. Pour 2 cups into a pot or a container for boiling. Once it starts boiling, place 3 tablespoons of salt into your container.
Okay. So where are the cohesive devices on this particular procedure? Can you spot the cohesive devices that made this particular paragraph effective, okay, for someone who would read it? Oh, ang example lang cohesive devices natin is first, next, then, afterwards, okay, ganon. Come on, Gian. Okay, what are the cohesive devices?
And become
Come again?
Begin and become.
Okay, become. Are you sure? Okay, may sinabi ka yung kasunod, begin, sabi niya. Okay, pero kasama dapat yung ano, let's begin. Okay. And then meron pang isa. Okay, ayan, Francis, nag-raise na hand si Francis.
The once.
Okay, yes, once, kasali ang once, very good. Okay, let's begin and then once. Okay.
Sir, sabihin ko sana, sir, sabihin ko sana once it starts boiling.
Hindi, yung once lang ah. Ito, it starts boiling, it's already part of the procedure. Okay. Usually, transition markers are just one or two words. Okay. Andito na po si Norvin. How about 30? Let me just check the attendance real quick. 30? 30. 30? Will you say present if you're already here?
Present, sir.
Okay, good. Joe, Christian?
Present,
Meron na
sir.
siya. Okay. So, si Angela ang wala for today. Okay. Okay, so may katuloy pa to. Sige, let's try to spot. Okay, you can now start stirring the solution until diluted. Okay. Then proceed to add 3 sprigs. Okay, sprigs ba talaga to? Of rose, how do you pronounce this? Rosemary? Okay, into the mix more. Rosemary. Alam ko itsura niya but I don't know how to pronounce it because we rarely have this particular ingredient in our house. Okay, for more earthy, flavorful tones to your meat. Boil this for 1 more minute. Then you can turn the heat off and place 1.5 cups of ice cubes to cool it off. Okay, so sige, hanapin natin mga transition signals. You can now start stirring the solution until it is diluted. Okay, may nag-raise na hand. Okay, Lou Angela.
Sure,
Lou
then.
Angela. Okay, then, yes. How many then are there?
Sure, dalawa.
Okay, yes, 2. Okay, meron pa ba? Okay, are there any more transition signals? Okay. Josiah, ayan.
Sure, now.
Okay, yes, now. Now is also a transition signal. Yes, very good. Okay. What else? Until. Okay, until is also an example of transition signal. Okay, what else? Wala na. Okay. Next. Okay. Then grab your 2 pounds of chicken and make sure that it is cut up into the parts for serving. In a large bowl, arrange your chicken and pour in your brine solution from earlier. Then cover this bowl and refrigerate for 3 hours. This will help the solution sink into our chicken sufficiently and bring about a tender, loving texture and flavor to your chicken. Okay, Chedrick. Chedrick is raising his hand.
Then,
Okay, then, yes, we also have then here. Okay, any more transition signals that we can find? Okay. How about Anna? Anna is not reciting. Anna, can you spot another transition signal aside from then? Hello? Okay, sige. Then, okay, on the first part, and then another then. Okay. Make sure that it's cut up into the parts for serving. In a large bowl, arrange your chicken and pour in your brine solution from earlier. Then, okay, yun lang. Then lang. This will help the solution sink into our chicken sufficiently and bring about a tender, loving texture and flavor to your chicken. Yes, yun lang. Okay? After refrigeration, start draining the brine solution. And then, rinse your chicken parts by washing them with water. Make sure it is dry by patting it with a paper towel. Okay, so, meron tayong dalawa. Dalawa dito. Okay, Francis?
After, pwede yun.
Ay, ayun, nasabi na. After, tapos,
And then,
okay, and then, yes, kasali ang and dito. And
Paano
then,
yung structure?
yung
Yung start.
start, wait lang. After refrigeration, draining the brine solution. No, yung start dito, it serves as a verb. Okay, verb ang function na dito. Kasi tignan mo, kung wala siya, ang tawag dito, it doesn't make sense. After refrigeration, start draining the brine solution. After refrigeration, draining the brine solution. Okay. Or pwede mo rin naman palitan to ng drain. After refrigeration, drain the brine solution. Yes, pwede. Okay, papasok to sa cohesive devices. Start draining the brine solution. Okay. Ito pala yung verb dito, yung draining. Pero dito naging gerund siya. Okay? What else? Make sure it is dry by patting it with a paper towel. Wala na. Okay, then set aside so we can work on breading our chicken. First, gather 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Okay, not going to read the entire ano na. Okay, sift this together for the breading. Then, using a wire whisk, mix the breading well and then set aside. Okay, then, first, sabihin na lang ni teacher. Then ulit, and then we have here, and then. Okay. So, yun po yung mga ginamit dito. Okay? Anyway, do I still have something? Okay, wala na. Ito, hindi ko muna to ipapagawa this time. Okay, sige, explain ko lang sa inyo. You have a seat work for today class and it requires you to identify where is the stress on that particular syllable. Okay, so someone asked me, how do I write it? Okay, wala pong mag-shortcut. Ganito lang yung gustong makita ni teacher. Let me write it. Okay, ganito lang class. I just want you to write it this way. Ganito lang. For example, you saw the, or you have heard the stress on the first syllable. First, ganyan lang isasagot nyo. Okay? So, since I already gave this instruction via Zoom, okay, hindi na mag-check si teacher individually kung nabasa nyo yung instruction. Okay? Because I'm tired of correcting others. Well, in fact, binigay ko naman ito ng tama. How about if it's second? Second. Ganyan. Okay, this is how you would write it. No shortcuts ha, no shortcuts. Let me repeat. No one should
There are no
write
numbers?
shortcuts. Oo, no numbers like 2 and then ND. Okay, ganyan po ang gusto kong makita. Kasi imamali to ni Aralinks and hindi ko na to i-recheck ulit. Ha? Okay, are we clear with that?
Basta small letter yung first.
Come again?
Saan ipapasa?
Basta small letter yung first.
Ano
Letter.
naman, the capitalization doesn't matter as long as you wrote it correctly. Okay, completely. The word
Sir,
first
mahina po yung
completely.
ano ko po, sir, yung speaker ko po, sir. Saan po ipapasa, sir?
Nakalagay ito sa inyong Aralinks. It's in the form of quiz, short answer siya, Jasmine. Okay, there are 15 items. Ganyan po siya. Ganyan yung sasagot nyo, okay? So you just have to choose between these. I actually gave 80 minutes for that particular task because I know you will still have to think carefully before answering it. Okay? You can answer that starting today, February 15, until February 24. Okay? Because the weekend is
Sir, gagawin ko
part of it.
mamayang hapon, sir, kapag wala ng pasok. Sir, naka-hide po ba?
Oo. Hindi po siya naka-hide. Don't worry. It's just
Sir, wala
there.
po ako nakikita.
Hindi yung nakikita. Try refreshing the third quarter. Pumunta ka sa mismong section na third quarter. Okay, then you can see it there. Okay, sige class. Let's call it a day. I'll see you next meeting. Okay, goodbye everyone.
Hi, Chair. Thank you po.